Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning sa ating mga fellow representatives, pati rin po sa Office of the Ombudsman. Mr. Chair, gusto ko munang bigyan ng context yung aking tanong. Mr. Chair, may mga rights defenders, lawyers, alternative media, civic leaders, at maging isang think tank na nag-file ng administrative and criminal cases with the Office of the Ombudsman against several ex-officio members of the NTF-ELCAC. First to file their complaint noong February 2020 ay accused si Major General Parlade Jr., former PCOO Yusek Badoy, and former National Security Advisor Esperon for violating Republic Act 6770 for committing unreasonable, unfair, oppressive, or discriminatory acts. Also, Mr. Chair, on June 2020, Major General Parlade was also filed with a case because of violating the anti-graft law and the administrative code. Meron pa, Mr. Chair, December 2020, lawyers naman po nag-file din ng administrative complaint against Mr. Parlade, Ms. Badoy, and Mr. Esperon. Also, 2 days after, from human rights groups, nag-file din po ng criminal and administrative case against Mr. Esperon, Mr. Parlade, Ms. Badoy, and then PCOO ASEC Mocha Yuson for violating Republic Act 9851 in relation to the principle of distinction under international humanitarian law. Also, Mr. Chair, December 2020, pa rin, administrative complaint against former NICA Director General Monteagudo, former Defense Secretary Lorenzana, and former Interior Secretary Anyo for violating the Code of Conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees. Also, Mr. Chair, still December 2020, alternative media nag-file din ng complaint against Mr. Parlade, Ms. Badoy, and former NTF-ELCAC Executive Director Allen Capuyan. Ang basis naman po ay Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, pati din yung Code of Conduct. In summary, Mr. Chair, 6 administrative complaints from various organizations and 2 criminal complaints pending before the Office of the Ombudsman. May we ask, Mr. Chair, ano na po ang status ng 6 na administrative complaints and 2 criminal cases? Since ang last po doon sa ating na-enumerate ay na-file pa noong December 2020.
Honorable Chair, Your Honors, yung tanong po ay sa dami ng kasong yon, hindi ko alam kung anong status. But if the Honorable Congressman is referring to those cases against Parlade, Badoy, et al. Esperon, with respect to the red tagging, those cases were already dismissed. Sa kadahilanan po na wala naman pong batas na nagbabawal sa red tagging. In the absence of a law, we can not arrogate unto ourselves by saying na nag-violate ka ng red tagging. Red tagging po pinag-uusapan, but I am not really sure if this is the one that is being referred to by the Honorable Congressman Manuel. So, I will appreciate kung bibigyan po ninyo kami ng listahan, and I will inform you the status of those cases.
Mr. Chair, bahagi po ng complaint against these individuals ay yung ginawa nga nilang red tagging. Tayo din naman, Mr. Chair, we filed a bill actually na gusto natin ay ma-criminalize ang red tagging and maprotektahan lahat ng mga defenders natin, lahat ng mga merong advocacy at dapat ay safe sila, hindi sila nasasubject sa mga discriminatory na mga acts. In the absence of that law at this moment, Mr. Chair, kaya ang na-cite natin ay yung ibang mga batas na actually ay pwedeng maging basis para mapanagot ang mga individual na ito. Mr. Chair, since hindi pa nakakatanggap ng official communication ang mga nag-file ng mga complaints against these people, may we request the Office of the Ombudsman to furnish our office, pati din yung mga nag-file mismo, na mabigyan po sila ng written na kopya ng dismissal para po on record ay mapanghawakan po natin iyon. Can the office commit to that, Mr. Chair?
If Your Honor could please give us a copy of those cases, we assure you that we will furnish you the status of those cases. The earliest would be this afternoon. Pero sinisiguro ko po sa inyo na kung mga kasong yun ay na-dismiss na, I am sure na yung mga complainant ay nabigyan na ng kopya. Ngayon, doon sa puntos na dahil nga walang red tagging, pa-file mo ng kaso ng violation ng Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, para lang po yun yung nagpalusot tayo Diba? Ito yung tinatawag na yung palusot Kung sa sibuyas, ito yung palusot na pagtatanim ng sibuyas o ani. Just like in the violation of the dangerous drugs law, marami po nagpa-file sa amin ng Section 3E. Ang pinakapunot dulo po ay drugs. So wala ho kami jurisdiction doon. So ginagamit, may mga pagkakataon po, ginagamit ang ombudsman. Sana wag naman po ganun. Dahil hindi naman po ang ombudsman karakarakan mag-action sa inyong mga kaso na wala naman talagang kinalalaman. Sa kadahilanan lang, magpa-file kayo ng kaso dahil ang respondent ay isang sikat na tao, mataas ang posisyon sa gobyerno. Binibigyan din po namin ng pansin yung mga kaso na file ng mga mahihirap. Binibigyan po namin ng pansin yung mga kaso na karapat dapat bigyan. Pero kung papalusutan kami na red tagging ang rason, pero sasabihin hindi, nag-violate ka ng Section 3E. Because Section 3 says undue injury to the government or the individual, yan ang cause ng undue injury na yon. Kung red tagging, wala akong binayolate na batas. Yun lang po, I would appreciate if the Honorable Congressman Manuel could give us a list of those cases and we will immediately. I'll call the office now and give us a status of those cases. And I assure you, before the end of the day, you'll have a copy of the status of those cases.
Mr. Chair, gusto lang po nating mag-respond doon sa remark na nagpapalusot lang po yung mga nagpa-file ng mga administrative and criminal complaints. Mr. Chair, para po sa enlightenment ng ating mga kapwa civil servants and public officials, Mr. Chair, yung red tagging po, hindi lang po yan basta salita at hindi po naghahanap lang ng kung ano-anong dahilan para magkaso. Mr. Chair, meron na po talagang nangyaring mga masamang bagay dahil sa red tagging. Meron po, nakaka-affect po ito ng pag-perform ng ating mga public officials at kahit yung mga civil society organizations natin, Mr. Chair, na-hamper po yung pag-perform nila ng duty nila to pursue whatever advocacy that they have in line with our laws. Tapos, Mr. Chair, meron na ring mga na-red tag na napatay na nga, no? Dahil sa ganong threat, no, na nagiging epekto sa kanila dahil sa pagre-red tag, coming mismo mula sa mga government officials. So, Mr. Chair, ang dating kasi kung kinukonsente natin ito sa pamahalaan, edi short of saying na we are enabling red tagging, no? Kaya habang syempre mainam na meron na rin talagang batas eventually on red tagging, sa ngayon, Mr. Chair, kita naman natin damage has been done, no? At nakakalungkot isipin na yung mga buhay na nawala because of red tagging, yung mga hindi na makapagpatuloy, no, whether in government man or hindi, mahihirapan na sa kanilang mga gusto sanang gawin, no? Hindi na, mahirap na pong ibalik yun, Mr. Chair. Kaya sana mas maging proactive tayo when it comes to this matter. And sana po hindi din po napagbabangga, no, na may mga kaso daw na para sa mga mahirap, ganyan. Yung mga rights defenders po natin, yung mga people's lawyers natin, yan din po ay merong mga ginagawa para sa mga mahirap. in fact, no, yung pag-defend nila sa mga magsasaka, sa mga mangingisda, sa mga manggagawa, part din po yan ng gusto nating sama-samang pagtulong sa mga mahihirap. So, sana po hindi pinagbabangga, hindi pinagko-compete yung mga kaso. Kasi kung lahat naman po, Mr. Chair, agrabyado, lahat po ay dapat nating tulungan at dapat ay may hustisya po para sa kanila. Yun na muna, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat.
Alright, maraming salamat po, Representative Manuel. Now we go to the majority. Representative Gerbil Luistro, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning to our distinguished colleagues. And of course, to our guests from the Ombudsman, most especially to Ombudsman Martires, and to my kababayan from Mabini, Batangas, our Special Prosecutor Edilberto Sandoval. Mr. Chair, my first question is on the increase in budget. From 2023, the proposed budget is 5.5% higher. That is 263.1 million. Can you explain which programs were augmented, reason which yielded an increased budget by 263.1 million, Mr. Chair? At least, Mr. Chair, can we identify the programs which were augmented that yielded this increase by 263.1 million compared to the budget for the current year, Mr. Chair?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. The totality of the increase of the agency's budget comprises of both directional swings in each item allocation. So some major items could have increased, some other items could have decreased. So we don't have the specific information as to what led to the net effect as of the moment, but I will gladly provide you with that particular information within the day, ma'am. But I would like to stress again the salient features of the budget. We did have